This is Radio Takeover, Brevard's hit talk radio program with Karen Wooden and Chuck Fresh. Wednesdays at 1, live on 1510 WMEL, 94.7 FM Cocoa, 99.9 FM Cocoa, 100.7 in Melbourne. Streaming online on SoundCloud, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and iTunes. Now, hold on to your seats. It's time for this week's edition of Radio Takeover.
Welcome to Radio Takeover, Brevard's most exciting and acclaimed and award-winning radio show. I gave us an award last week, Karen.
Thank you. Congratulations, Chuck.
My name is Chuck Fresh. I'm here along with Karen Wooden. We're on the air every Wednesday from 1 to 2 p.m. And if you miss us, you can catch us forever online at brevardradio.com. And we're on YouTube and iHeartRadio and SoundCloud and iTunes and blah, blah, blah. Find us. We're worth it.
We're everywhere.
Karen Wooden.
What's up?
How the heck are you?
I am doing okay.
I don't normally sit this close to Karen. This is really weird. She's usually like hidden in this like cage.
Like almost touching, not touching.
Go ahead.
Can I touch?
Woo! It tickles. But it's good to see you. It's kind of a weird situation here.
It is.
And we have an exciting celebrity guest with us today.
We have an incredible celebrity.
Do you want to share who it is? Or should we not?
I don't
should we
know.
keep it a secret?
I think we should keep it a secret.
Wait, we're on the radio.
We are.
So we could just have our guests say something and see if people can call in and guess who it is.
I know. I think we should
Special
have our
celebrity
guests.
mystery guest. Say something.
Hey everybody, how you doing?
Who would that be?
I don't know. Well,
All
we
right.
do know, actually.
Yeah.
We're just not going to say.
All right, give us one hint. Let's see. Give us your initials.
JSH.
John Sam Hughes.
Okay.
Very close.
No. All right. Well, Karen will introduce him. We'll talk to him. He's got some terrific programs going on, our mystery guest. And some really, really good stuff. I can tell you that he's like not on one, but two major network television shows.
I know.
It's insane. Like, who does that?
We don't.
Only really, really great
good,
actors.
talented people get to do those.
Really stubborn people who are very lucky.
That's right. That's how it works.
I'll give even another hint. This is somebody that was a classmate of mine from a while ago.
That's a giveaway. Now everybody's
No,
going to know.
not everybody.
Now, where did you go to school?
Somewhere.
Was it Colorado or here?
Colorado, Rocky Mountain High.
Wow, that's what it's
As
called,
Elaine
Rocky
would
Mountain
say,
High?
Colorado, Rocky Mountain High, baby. That would be Elaine Larson would say that.
Wow. So you went to high school, was it really called Rocky Mountain High?
No, that was the state of being of many of the students.
Oh,
And it
that
still
is-
is. It still is. Legally now.
Right on,
Legally
right
now.
on.
All right.
Now it's legal for those of them who are of age.
Yes.
He said us. Do you
Us.
still live in Colorado, mystery guest?
No, I haven't lived there since 1993.
Wow.
It seems everyone leaves Colorado, Karen. Why is it?
I don't know.
They're all coming to Florida.
No, I don't think they're coming here.
Yeah, you probably don't.
No, not Florida. Not Florida.
Anyway, so
Okay.
tell me about your week. What's going on? We never talk about you, and I definitely want to interview you on the air because you have an amazing background that you're just hiding. And Karen, we need to talk about that. We're going to flush that out. I'm going to interview
Okay.
you in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, okay. No. That's
Me
not
and you
good.
on the air, no holds barred. We're doing this.
That could be scary, and we might lose a lot of listeners.
No
I'm kind
way.
of concerned about that. Yes.
What's going on? Anything exciting?
No, just what are we? We're getting up close to spring break.
Holy goodness. You
Yeah.
doing anything fun?
I am staying home.
We are too, the first time.
Not going anywhere.
Well, we live in Florida. Many people
know.
come to Florida for spring break, so why would we go somewhere else?
We can go to the beach.
Where are we going to go? Vermont? Vermont.
Chuck, you're invited. Come on up to Vermont.
Here we go.
I'm going to give you a shovel and start.
No, I'm good, man. I grew up in Philadelphia, man. I saw enough snow for my entire life.
Yeah. Well, I was born in Chicago. Well, born
Oh.
in Berwyn, Illinois, which is a suburb.
So you've been cold.
That's cold. You get the cold air moving off of Lake Michigan,
Oh,
and
no.
you know that's just one of those that
Biting.
you can't warm up. You
yeah.
can't have enough clothes
That's
there.
not good.
So that's not very fun. Beautiful state, but
Yeah, we'll
I don't
pass.
know.
We'll pass. We're going to stay
All
here for a
right.
couple of years. All right, why don't you
You
go
know
ahead
what?
and introduce our
We
guest?
should.
Let's do this.
Are you
So
ready?
people are probably on their edge of, who is this guy? Tell me who he is! I can't stand it anymore!
They're like, we don't want to hear from you guys. We want to know.
Right on.
Okay, guys. So
Let's do this.
We have Jeremy Holm. Jeremy Holm is best known for portraying Agent Nathan Green on the Golden Globe-nominated Netflix series House of Cards.
House of Cards.
House of Cards.
Wow.
We're gonna have to talk about some of that.
Yeah.
House of Cards has run so far 3 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And he has also played Mr. Sutherland on the breakout U.S. series Mr. Robot,
Watch that too.
which has been running for 2 seasons.
Wow.
So far.
At the same
like
time.
saying so far?
How does he do this?
I have no idea.
Just a little correction. House of Cards is actually
4, right?
4.
4 seasons out, and
Oh.
from what I understand, season
4.
5 is coming
Something
out
out.
in May, I guess.
Wow.
But
Interesting.
4 seasons are
Sorry.
streamable right now.
Do it.
Awesome.
Do it.
After you
Awesome.
watch Chuck Fresh and Karen online,
Right.
then you can go and
Then
you
you
can
can
stream
see
House
us.
of Cards.
We're gonna link it out.
Yeah.
We're gonna write
There we go.
Yeah, we're gonna get
Absolutely.
everything up for you. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Hey, he has also appeared on multiple television shows, which I'm going to name a bunch of them, which include Unforgettable, Happy-ish, The Americans, American Odyssey, Law and Order,
Jeez.
several seasons of Primetime, What Would You Do? We've also seen him in The Blacklist, Limitless.
Good Lord.
His feature film, The Judge, features an all-star cast, or featured an all-star cast. They're still all-stars.
Yeah.
Which was also with Robert Downey Jr., Robert Duvall, Vera Farmiga, Billy Bob Thornton, and some others. In post-production is Vlad Fear. You're going to have to correct me.
Vlad Fear, yeah.
Fear.
He's Romanian,
Romanian.
and he's a supremely talented director. And he tackled the subject of police brutality and the institutionalization of that problem in this country, because he sees it in his country too. So he
Yeah.
wrote an amazing script, which was shot in Brooklyn, and it was scary.
Wow.
And that is called,
Yeah.
is that that's
Finding Her. Yeah.
Okay. That's going to be good. I think that's going to be really good.
That is gonna be right.
And
We'll talk about that.
so, yeah, Jeremy is going to portray Greg Spalding.
There's so many questions, but I'm just biting my tongue till you get through this introduction. Because he's done so much.
He's done so much, yes.
Jeez.
And if that's not enough, he's in the final parts of a deal to play the lead in an independent horror film,
Uh-oh.
which will begin shooting in May, along with potentially top secret projects.
One question: will there be zombies? You can't answer that. Don't. Go ahead.
I could say that no, it won't be
No
zombies.
zombies?
Yeah.
That's okay.
That's okay.
We've had a lot of zombies in the studio.
We like horror.
All I can say is I've never done a horror film.
You haven't?
And I read the script, and I immediately, I called my agent and I said, "We got to do this." So
Do this.
Let's do this.
Are you a bad guy?
I can't say
Okay,
anything.
Careful.
He can't say. He
Don't
can't
ruin
say.
this for him.
And
Can't say
let's,
anything
let's give you some of his background. Jeremy was raised in a small town in the Rocky Mountains. He has a BA from Colorado State University and earned an MFA from the University of Wisconsin.
Wait, what's an MFA?
There are 2 ways to describe it. One can't be said on the radio. The other one
Thank you.
is a Master of Fine Arts.
Somehow
Wow.
I knew you were going to
Oh,
do that.
yeah. I need to know what that is. Okay, good. So that's the one you
I like
have.
the other one better, but I can't
Okay.
say it on the air.
Well, you know what? SpaceX has a rocket they call the BFR.
I got that. What's that really called? All right, go ahead.
Big flippin' rock.
Right on.
Right. Okay, so that was from the University of Wisconsin. Since then, he has performed on many different stages. The Cherry Lane Theater, the Mint Theater, both are in New York City, and in major regional houses like the Arena Stage, Milwaukee Repertory Theater, Clarence Brown Theater, Repertory Theater of St. Louis, and the Cleveland Playhouse, just to name a few.
I think he's serious about this acting thing.
You
Karen.
know, I
Yeah.
think he's found his calling.
Do it.
Jeremy has even performed internationally. This is really cool.
What?
At the Shanghai Theater in China. Can you imagine that?
No.
Like, how cool.
In
is that?
English?
Sharon, this was crazy. We did a Taming of the Shrew there,
Uh-huh.
and about, I don't know, 600 people in the audience, sold out every night,
Wow.
and about 400 of those 600 stayed for the talkback. And we had interpreters there, and I asked the interpreter after we were done, I said, how many of those in the audience spoke English? And she said about 10.
Wow.
But they all stayed and watched the show because it was a
That's
visually
Captivating.
produced version of it. But it was really exciting. Crazy
Wow.
experience.
And hey, did you know, well, we were talking about this beforehand, that Jeremy, he even performed right here at the Riverside Theater.
What?
And that was Camping with Henry and Tom.
Holy smokes. How long ago was that?
Yeah.
That's been a while, huh?
That was a while ago. That must have been 15 years ago. But I almost died, and this is how I almost died.
No.
Like, I'm in Florida, the theater gave me a car to use. I'm a morning person. I go to the gym. But you know what? Before I go to the gym, at sunrise, I'm going to go for a nice swim in the ocean. I learned that. I guess that's not the smart thing to do, huh?
Were you caught in an undertow or what happened? Shark?
Yeah.
Well, apparently
Make something
it was
up.
like shark time or something. You guys have sharks down there, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So some people are saying, that's probably not a good idea.
Yes.
Not a good time of day to be swimming by yourself.
Well, there's jellyfish and piranhas and loan sharks and all kinds of things here.
New Smyrna.
One of those loan sharks almost got me.
Yeah, they're scary.
We could make a movie out of that, Jeremy, just saying.
A horror movie.
There's a potential there. Yeah. Well, New Smyrna, which is about 2 hours from here, is the shark capital of the world.
Wow.
So I promise, you go out there, you will. It's a question of when, not if, what. I'm glad. Well, and if you swim in the rivers here, or if you like me and you like to go boating, we have things called alligators too.
Ah, yeah.
Oh, right.
So it's a win-win for the wildlife.
Now, listen, I'm just reading ahead here, and I'm a little concerned about the next statement because he has a thing for redheads, Karen.
Well, he has three beautiful girls.
Yeah.
3 beautiful girls in his life, and unfortunately, ladies, because I know you've got a lot of women like you, Jeremy. A lot of women, but you know what?
I think he's kind of hot myself.
Oh, Chuck.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
3 redheads. Who are the 3 redheads?
No, he does not 3 redheads. Not 3 redheads. It's just 3 beautiful
Karen was
girls.
counting herself.
Yes, I was.
Boom! Good one.
My wife and my eldest daughter are redheads.
Got it.
Yes.
But number 2, Alice, who's in the other room, and she'll probably come in here. You might see her.
Yeah.
She's a brunette.
She's a beautiful brunette.
Gotcha.
She got my hair.
See, I kind of throw it all in.
Right.
Yeah.
I got you. Should.
See, you have to read backwards.
I know. That's what I'm trying to do.
Sometimes we make corrections, Chuck.
Right on.
So unfortunately, ladies, Jeremy is off the market. Again, we said he has a beautiful wife, Dawn, who he met while playing Vronsky in, and I'm going to let you take this one away, Jeremy.
Anna Karenina, or Anna Karenina.
Right.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, because I mangled that the first time.
I'm here, Karen.
What is? Excuse my ignorance. What is Anna Karenina?
Oh, it's maybe one of the most famous Russian novels. It tells a story of it's basically about equal rights, really, and it's about a woman who has to choose between the man she's supposed to marry and the man she loves, and her relationship with a train.
A train. Right on.
Yeah.
There's some.
I don't want to give it away. You guys got to read it.
There's interesting things to talk about.
Absolutely.
So also too, Jeremy is always giving back to his community and is currently spearheading a heroin prevention program, which we're also going to talk about. That's something really
great work.
Great work. Very important topic that we need to talk about. So anyway, enough. I am super excited to have you on the show. You're like this mega celebrity, and you made time. You're so gracious to be here with us today. And like I said earlier, we go back to West Jefferson Elementary School.
How far back is that?
That's pretty far back.
How old are you, Karen?
Not old enough. I turned 30.
What, again?
Yes.
We're both 30.
Every
Wow.
year. You know, once you hit 40, you kind of either stay there, or each year you go back
Take one off, take 2 off.
So
Chuck, I'll tell you how old she is. She's been 30 for 18 years.
Wow.
Thank you, Jeremy.
That's amazing.
I totally appreciate it. Isn't that awesome? No. So anyway.
I'm going to write that down for my interview.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
That was a nice.
See, it's not fair because most of my personal information is published on the internet, so I can't even lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. That's got to be tough.
See, you know, he looks so young. He's not even wearing glasses. I have to use little cheaters
Yeah,
to
me
read
too.
nowadays.
I
What's
can't
up with
see.
that? But anyway, first off, Jeremy, congratulations on all of your success.
Oh, thank you.
Successes.
Thank you. You know, I'm
It's a lot of
just,
hard work.
truly, I got very lucky and I was stubborn. That's the truth.
It's a hard industry. What inspired you to become an actor?
I get this question from time to time, and it's caused me to think a lot about it. And it goes back to the fact that we lived in the mountains. We didn't have any neighbors. And so it was at nighttime, it was pitch black. Mm-hmm. And if you have lights on inside and outside it's pitch black, your windows become mirrors.
Yeah.
Right.
So I would always like dress up and do stories in the mirrors, and then I would go act them out for my mom. And I think that's where it started.
We're going to have to remember that for the reunion.
Is there any videos of that, Jeremy?
No video cameras back then. Hey, Karen, do you remember Jack and the Giant Beanstalk?
Yes.
In Mrs. Canan's class in kindergarten?
Yes.
I played the giant.
Wow.
That's right.
That far. Wow.
You know what? We already mentioned this in some of the emails that we were corresponding. I don't act. I can't act. I play a great dead body. So I was never in... Well, I was never in anything.
Well, Karen's getting into cosplay now.
No.
So she's going to be she's going to walk around Disney as a character where she doesn't have to talk. She kind of shakes little kids' hands and signs. Perfect for her.
Do you love Chuck is just writing my script for me.
I'm telling you, this is going to happen.
Listen, he wants you to have a fallback too, Karen.
Everybody.
That's my fallback. Don't steal my job.
Hey, Jeremy, as a parent, you want to support your child, and acting it's a tough industry. How did your parents react when you told them that you wanted to become an actor?
Well, my mom kind of always would say it to me. And, my parents were divorced when I was very young, but my mom would always say, you're going to be an actor. And she didn't say it with glee. She sort of said it like it was her burden to bear. Yeah. And she passed away when I was in high school. But my dad was always very supportive and always helped me to do whatever it was that I wanted to do, and he's a big fan.
What did he do for a living?
He's had an interesting career. He was a computer programmer, actually, originally for H.E.L.P, and he worked for them in high school. And he ran what were called batch reports, which hid the cost and the identity of the stuff we were buying for the Manhattan Project.
Oh, wow.
And he didn't know what he was doing. He was just running the reports because he was a high school kid. Yeah. But he had a security clearance when he was in high school.
Wow.
Okay.
And he ended up starting a computer cabling business in Denver.
There's a movie there.
There's another movie.
Maybe, yeah. We need to, in honor of Chuck Barris, we need to switch it a little and turn him into a CIA operative.
That'll work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do that. I'll start on that this evening.
Are you
okay?
He's going to do that. Yeah, Chuck does a lot of things.
Oh,
we'll have to discuss
we'll
that
talk about some other
off
show.
Off the air. There's a lot. There's a lot.
Let's check, because actually you do some really cool stuff. If I can jump in, let's talk about the characters you play. They're certainly bad, and you're kind of the enforcer, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, there are some definite authority figures and mean and tough guys, and you have to approach those characters the same as you would a hero or a good guy or the fool, the classic fool, and that's kind of what I do. I figure out what they're trying to do, and how they do it, and what the best way is to convey my part in telling that story. It's really about efficiency. When you're doing TV work, you have to figure out, when you're playing the roles I have, you have a function within the plot.
Right.
And if you make it too complicated, it muddies the picture up. So you have to figure out a way to be very efficient and spare in telling the story.
Is these the type of roles that you wanted, that you chase, or did you kind of just fall into them, or?
I'm actually friends with Reginald Cathy on Facebook and elsewhere, and he had a really great post the other day where someone said, "Hey, I really like the roles you've chosen," and he didn't have the luxury for a long time of choosing. He does now because he's a star, but
kind of
he. Like me, we don't get to choose. We go on the audition.
Yeah.
If you're an actor and someone says I got an audition and it says a jar of peanut butter, and it pays, you're probably going to show up, right?
Well, I mean, you're kind of a star.
Especially if you're supporting your family, you're gonna go to the audition. Yeah. So we don't oftentimes get to choose, and I'm just now getting to the point in my career where I could say no, I can say yes, which is a good position to be in.
I was going to say, you're kind of just like him, though, a star. So I would think that you'd be picking and choosing. But, you know.
I'll be honest with you, I get really uncomfortable with the word star because I'm not.
You're you.
I'm a blue-collar actor who gets to do some TV now and again, and he's been in a couple movies.
You know, that's what I told him, that's one of the things I like about him. Well, you've always been a great person. He's always been very genuine. And, well, no, it's true. I mean, you're a straight shooter. And I think that's one of the things that draw even more people to you is, a lot of actors, a lot of actresses, they're not very humble.
Yeah.
And kind of sometimes forget where they come from. And you are completely opposite of that. I mean, you're...
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Good guy.
Yeah.
And just coming and talking to lowlings like us, man.
Yeah.
That says a lot. Seriously. Well, not Karen, but me.
No,
Karen's a star.
So, you're I love the roles that you play. I really do. I still don't want to run into you in the middle of the night in a dark alley, okay?
In a suit, in a black suit.
In a black suit. Because let's face it, look what almost happened to Cashew.
Yeah.
And that was in House of Cards.
Yeah.
Hey,
what a great,
was that your
Bo Willimon and his writing team, they wrote that scene. And I was in episode 2, that was like episode 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And I hadn't read the script.
Uh-oh.
And, I'm friends with the sound guy, whose name is Lorenzo Milan, great guy. And so I'm on set shooting the second episode. It's just this walking down a hallway, and I'm with Michael Kelly, who plays Doug Stamper. And in between takes, I'm sitting in my chair, and I go over and I say hi to Lorenzo, and he's like, "Oh, you got to be so excited about the guinea pig." I'm like,
What?
And he's kind of a twisted guy, so I thought he was making some weird, Richard Gere joke or something. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, "Oh, you haven't read it." And in the business, you don't tell people before they have, because it's non-disclosure and stuff. And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, never mind. So for the next 3 weeks, I'm like, what is guinea pig? What is he talking about? How could House of Cards possibly have anything to do with a guinea pig? And so then I get the script emailed to me, and there it is.
Boom.
Were you excited?
What a fun scene, huh?
Yeah. Was that really your foot?
Was that your
foot, or was that a stunt person? Or did you really have your black shoe on top of that guinea pig?
I had a half an hour of guinea pig sensitivity training with 3 guinea pigs. I'm not kidding. I'm serious.
I believe it.
With 3 guinea pigs, because they had to have a backup guinea pig, right?
Right.
And then a backup for the backup. And then 2 animal rights representatives. One was a trainer, and one was just a person who watches what you're doing, and they stay on set and they watch you. And they make sure you don't mistreat the animals, which is right. You don't want to mistreat an animal you don't ever want to mistreat an animal, but especially not if you're just making this make-believe story.
Right.
And I learned something interesting about guinea pigs. Their bones are hollow. So like when you have a dog, you can just kind of let him down. Guinea pigs, they have to be like lower than 4 inches from the ground, or their legs will break.
Oh, Lord.
That might explain a lot why I didn't have very many guinea pigs last very long.
You can't throw them around.
Yeah.
It's a bad way to go. And it's also why in restaurants you can't order guinea pig wings, because it would fall apart in the fryer.
Birds have hollow wings too. So I read somewhere that they had a special vest around the guinea pig to protect them.
Yeah, they actually welded like a guitar, one of those foot pedals for a guitar.
Yeah.
It's kind of shaped like this.
Yeah.
Right.
And they like a triangle, and they welded it, and they put a harness in it, and then they put the guinea pig in it, so that when the foot was on the guinea pig, it wasn't really on the guinea pig.
Thank God, I wasn't able to sleep for years, man.
Jeremy,
guinea pig's
how
fine.
Could you do that?
What a scene, man.
Yeah, it was
more
pretty
people must have
intense.
talked to you about that than anything. I mean, you played it perfectly.
Yeah.
I was like, look at
I'm
this
really
guy.
surprised this whole interview isn't about that scene.
Well, it's getting there.
Well, yeah. It wouldn't be a proper interview if we didn't ask about that, because that is something that pops up. We hear it
All the time. Well, it scared the heck out of me.
Yeah.
Lost several days of sleep.
Hey, how do you make your characters so compelling? so vibrant. So
You do research. Do you
intense.
talk to agents and CIA people? And
Well, I'm actually friends with a couple FBI agents, and I actually met the guy who was the deputy director of counterterrorism for the FBI for the cyber part of it, and this was back in 2000, probably 15. I met this guy,
yeah.
and I met him in a different environment, and I'm like, hey, my name is Jeremy. He's like, oh, nice to meet you. I said, I understand that you used to, because he had recently retired.
Right.
And he was like, yeah. And then he had seen the show, and then he recognized me, and we chatted a little bit about what the actual, job is like.
Yeah.
Which is,
very cool.
the actual job is probably not super interesting.
Right. Well, you got to play it up a little bit, make it look
He's a
interesting.
guy.
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
a guy.
That could be your fallback career. Not that you'd
Yeah.
ever need one.
No, I think no.
You could just look
Well,
at people.
when I was in college and high school, I studied Russian language and history because I actually wanted to be in the CIA.
Wow.
But my grades weren't good enough, and then I did a play, and then I got sidetracked.
Say something in Russian for us, Jeremy.
Yes.
Say, hi, Karen is a wonderful person.
Красивая девушка.
Nice.
Очень хорошо.
You're
like my
such a
grandfather.
natural. That's
Got
really
the
good. That's a
accent down,
really hard language. My friend, if you remember Debbie Larson from school, she worked on many ships, and she worked on the Themis, and they're all Russian on the Themis, and she had a hard
right.
time, but she tried to. Sorry, I'll wrap that up. She was trying to
that's
learn
cool.
Russian, so I have a lot of
It's-
respect for you. That's a tough language.
It's an
It's pretty
entirely
difficult, yeah.
different.
But it's a beautiful language.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So let's talk about your foundation that you're working with. You actually founded this thing. It's the H.E.L.P program, the Heroin Epidemic. Go ahead.
Yeah,
You
academic learning program,
leave
right?
it to the professionals.
Yes.
So tell us, what's this all about? What is your foundation
Well,
doing? What
I don't know if you guys remember, but in the fall, there was an interview on another radio show, NPR, which I caught just after your show. And we interviewed the chief of that police department in Ohio, who posted the Facebook picture of the two heroin addicts in the front seat with the toddler strapped in the back, and the two people in the front were passed out. And he posted it on Facebook because he said, we can't arrest our way out of the problem. We don't have enough attention on the problem, and he needed help.
Yeah.
And at the end of the interview, they said, well, if you had unlimited funding, what would you do? What's the first thing you do? And he said, education. And it just bothered me, and my wife is family friends of Philip Seymour Hoffman. We used to go vacationing with them in the summertime. And, that's how he died.
Yeah.
And so these things sort of built up and started really bothering me. And I decided to do something about it. So I started making phone calls, and I got hooked up with this woman at the United Way here in Vermont. And she and I devised this program where we go into high schools. We have doctors come in, we have cops, medical examiners, we have addicts, people in recovery, people who live with addicts, all come in and tell their personal stories to these kids. And then I have experts in video editing, video shooting, sound, television, come in and talk to them. And then they're in the midst right now of shooting and editing their own public service announcements to do with heroin addiction. And it's,
cool.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see them. The ideas are fantastic.
Wow.
And I'm just so excited. So they're due April 15th.
Okay.
And then we're going to judge them, and the winner gets a big cash award and gets the spot on TV.
Hey,
so
you know
very
what?
exciting.
How about, because there's so much to talk to you about, how about you come back on with us, and perhaps with that person, the persons that win, and share that with us. We would love to
Done
do that.
and done.
Is that done? And
I
then
love it.
we will. I keep saying that.
We will. Yeah, we'll put
Chuck.
it together.
Yeah, volunteer
Well,
Chuck. Hey, Chuck, are you making dinner tonight?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, what do you want?
Good.
It's fish.
Steak.
gonna say healthy.
She usually likes steak and some cream spinach and maybe
Yeah.
some new potatoes. Baked.
So we deliver to Vermont. All right, we'll do that. We'll figure that one out. So your help organization, it's a wonderful cause,
Yes.
and thank you for doing that. We need
Yeah.
more people like you to jump back in the community and help things out. But
Well, just one other thing about it. Here's what's great about it, is that the program is basically free.
Right.
It's all volunteers, and it's all a collaboration among people. It's our own community we're helping. Anybody in any community could do something like it, so go get them.
We can share your program throughout wherever we live. Because I have some people that, we talked about earlier that we think we can maybe
help
get you guys in touch with. No, I was thinking, like Robert and Ryan and some other individuals that are in the same industry.
Right.
So
yeah, it's important to realize that once you're addicted to the opioids, man, it's crazy to get off. So
it's a horrible.
You're nipping it in the bud here, so to speak, to stop it before.
What we need to do.
Yeah.
It's probably the only way to attack it.
Yeah.
So that's brilliant.
Congratulations.
How long have you been doing this?
I got the idea in October, and I went to the schools and said, "Hey, can we do this?" And they said, "Yeah, maybe next year." I said, "No, next semester." And they somehow figured out a way to give us time, and then we just with Jesse, my partner, we coordinated it, and we made it happen. And now it's being reviewed by the governor of our state. So hopefully we'll get some money and we can expand it.
Are you guys affiliated with the United Way?
Yeah, it's the United Way of Addison County, but we're trying to get it
national.
The whole United Way. Yeah.
So this way you could earmark your United Way contribution towards this particular association. This is great.
Right.
It has to be national for that, right?
Yeah, but one step at a time, Chuck.
Yeah. What if people want to help now? What can they do? Can they contribute directly?
They can contribute directly to the United Way and designate H.E.L.P.
Okay.
Or if, wherever you live, there are organizations that do work for heroin addicts, for heroin education. But the first thing they should do is go to their medicine cabinet and properly dispose of any opioids that are in there. The second thing they can do is whenever they get prescribed a medicine, check with their doctor to see if it's an opioid and if there's another alternative.
Right. Right. Great advice. You guys have a website now for your association?
We don't. I mean, we're so new.
Yeah.
We don't.
Okay.
But
you're moving really
my
fast.
Facebook profile has it. My professional Facebook profile has information about it.
We'll give all that information in the links here too.
Right. And if people want to check you out and see all the things that you're doing, they can follow you on www.jeremyholm.com. They can follow you on Twitter. You've got that.
Twitter at Holm Jeremy, HOLM.
Yeah.
He's on Instagram too.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Yes, you just started on Instagram, didn't you?
I just did, and I'm not really a tech savvy guy, so I'm just trying to keep up with all this.
Yeah,
it's hard.
This Al Gore's interwebs.
When we announced that you were going to be coming on, that we were going to be taping the show, we did reach out to people and said if you had any questions, they would like to ask you. So, first off, I have to do this because this is family. My cousin David in Colorado just wanted to say that he loves your acting. I think you saw that comment. He's a huge fan. So there you go, David.
David, thanks for watching, man. I'm hoping there's more to come.
Yes, we're going to have to ask you. We're going to have to ask you about that. Yeah. Okay, so Carol wanted to know which is the most challenging, working on a movie set, Netflix, or TV role, and what's your favorite role so far?
Great. There are 6 questions there.
Yeah, right?
I know, right?
They're all really great questions, and you two should be a little embarrassed that you didn't ask them first. I'm just saying, or maybe you did and you gave her the honor of it, which is
Carol should be on the show.
We have to.
Right. So, believe it or not, the hardest roles to play are roles if you only have one line.
Really? Because
there's all this pressure, and you don't know anybody on set. When you know everybody on set, it's much easier. You know your character. You've been doing it. Although I have to say, when you're acting with, Kevin Spacey or Robin Wright or Robert Downey Jr., you want to come with your game face on. So you need to be really prepared and relaxed and ready to work. Show up ready to work. My favorite role, Sutherland on Mr. Robot and Director Green on House of Cards. They're both really interesting, intricate, powerful
Yes.
roles, and it's kind of a toss-up. Well, I'll have to answer that question in 5 years.
Yeah, see how it goes.
Yeah.
So 3 people, all relative. I'm going to just combine their question for sake of time, but they're all saying the same thing. And this was Linda, Rebecca, and Dawn. They all want to know, were you always this cool? How did you become this cool? You're cool. How did it happen, Jeremy?
Well,
great question.
It's like, another 6 questions.
I don't think of myself as cool. Like I'm,
You're cool.
in high school. Remember Outdoor Lab? Remember Outdoor Lab?
Yes, I do.
Do you know what award I got? Because everybody, Chuck, got an award at Outdoor Lab, which is this camp away from school for a week up in the mountains, right?
Yes.
Right.
So the award I got was Mr. Know-It-All.
Really?
And in high school, I was the geeky president of the Thespian Society.
No.
So I really have never been cool. And if I am now, it's probably just the coffee.
It takes some of us a little longer to come into our cool.
To develop into that.
And we have to go through that strange phase and learn things. And
See, we're cool now.
learn how not to be cool.
Phase cool. Late phase cool. We're in late phase cool mode.
I love that.
LPC.
Right.
I'm going to write that down.
Hey, are you LPC?
Write that down.
Hashtag.
Yeah, you know me.
Hashtag.
Hey, and Robert Downey Jr.,
It's an old song.
when you were in The Judge, he paid you some compliments.
Ooh.
I believe, reading about.
Yeah,
which is
what
really
a
awesome.
great guy to work with. And here's a man who's at the absolute top of his profession.
Right.
And he's also a guy who's utterly humble.
Yeah.
We were on set, we were shooting a scene, and the director was giving a note to the guys. We were all kind of joking around, and he was asking them to calm down, and calm down their response within the scene. And I looked over my shoulder. I said, "Yeah, you guys don't want to go back to jail." And Robert Downey Jr. said, "It's not that bad, actually. You get used to it." Like,
Nice.
what a self-deprecating and
Yeah.
true comment he made.
To even joke
And then at
about
the end of the shoot, he said, "Hey, thanks, man. You're a really good actor." And I was just,
That's cool. I mean,
I was blown away by that.
super.
That's really neat.
Super cool.
He seems like he'd be a nice guy, but you really don't know until you meet him. And
Right.
you spend a lot of time on set with him, so you really get to know him.
He is a really nice guy.
That's all.
And he's a good person besides. He's a nice guy and he's a good person.
I'm going to let you, because I'm kind of.
Okay, I've got a couple of
chit-chatting
questions
over
here.
here
Do
also.
people ever confuse you, Jeremy, with the MMA fighter, the pain train? Do you get that sometimes? People
There's
like,
a question you didn't see
do
coming.
people poop their pants
Well-
when you walk into a restaurant? Oh my God, Jeremy Holm's here. He's going to kill me. Does that happen?
Well, I used to kickbox,
Oh,
not professionally, but I
course.
did used to kickbox,
Wow.
and I actually had to have my nose reconstructed because I wasn't very good at it. I got kicked in the head a lot. So when I worked in New York at this restaurant, some people thought mistakenly that I was that guy, and I never corrected them.
no. You get a free meal out of it?
Like, why would you correct? Just
Yeah.
let them believe what they're
Let him
gonna
go,
believe.
man. You sign autographs? Same name, right? What are you going to do?
Right, just sign it.
Yeah, who cares?
It takes the burden off of the other Jeremy.
It does. It does.
Have you met him?
Here to help.
You're
Have
making
you
them
talked
look
to him?
good.
Have you ever talked to him? Have you ever met him?
I haven't met him, but here's a little tidbit. There's also a Jeremy Holm who's a bobsledder. He lives in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Really?
And
Professional bobsledder?
yeah,
Is that a thing?
That's a thing.
yeah,
Holy crap.
yeah.
You're missing out.
He also
Yeah,
has some
come up here.
foundations. He's a great guy too. He does a lot of work for his community. And I said, "Hey, do you want to go have a beer?" Because I was doing a show in Salt Lake. I said, "Hey, let's go have a beer." But I think he's like kind of a strict Mormon, and he wanted to have coffee, and then we ran out of time. I should have invited him for a coffee instead of a
Right.
beer.
That'd be pretty neat.
How
Yeah.
cool is that?
So, have you had any sexy scenes with any Hollywood babes yet, Jeremy? Or is that on the list for
His wife is going
2017?
to appreciate that one.
You mean besides my wife?
Right.
No, I mean I've been pistol whipped by some pretty attractive
hot.
women. Does
Yeah.
that
Yeah, I've
count?
done that a couple times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing yet, huh? Coming for the future.
Nothing yet.
Goodness.
So, what do you do in your spare time, man?
Yeah.
Are you reading for new roles, trying to figure out what's next?
Well, I'm also, my big job right now is I'm a dad.
That's heavy.
That's a huge
Yeah.
job.
Yeah. And, my two daughters are the best thing for me. They're the best investment of my time. I just love them so much, and they definitely are teaching me more than I'll ever be able, to teach them. And so I really just try to pay attention to what's going on in their brain, right? So I can learn from them. So a huge part of my time is asking them questions, taking them places, and seeing how they, respond. So that's right now, that's a big chunk of my time. And then when I go into, like, I'm learning lines right now for something.
Right.
So when I get close to it, when I get about 2 weeks out from it, I'm going to kind of disappear from the family. Like, I'll still be here, but I'm not going to be as present because I'm going to start going down that.
Morphing into your role.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you do a role, you become that person while you're.
Is
that Netflix?
I don't know. I definitely become more still within myself, so that when I'm actually on set and shooting, I'm clear about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Right.
So I wouldn't say I become that person. I just get kind of quiet, and I get a little withdrawn from the everyday things that are going on. I was doing Death of the Salesman at the Arena Stage in DC. I was playing Biff, and my wife was with me at the time, and I was having nightmares every night, waking up, like, she would wake me up, I'd be crying. So I figured out that I needed to get home and work on a puzzle, and I'd drink a beer and I'd do the puzzle and ask her to leave me alone for about half an hour just to kind of come down from it. And sometimes that happens to actors when they're in a role. It's not that they're still in the character, but it changes their day-to-day existence.
That's true.
Quite a bit, and that definitely happens for me.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that's not something we think about, or I don't really think we talk about that.
Yeah.
So
it's actually downright psychology.
Right.
It's actually altering. It could be epigenetics.
Epigenetics. That is true.
Yeah, that's heavy. I
It's
just
a
want to
big
throw
word for
that
us
big word
today.
out there. So you began your career, you began a lot of time. I saw that from your IMDb page that you should check out, that you were in Law and Order back in 1999. So how hard was it to get that? Was that your first role out there in Hollywood?
That was my first role, and actually I had just moved to New York City. I think I arrived in September, and I booked that in like April.
Wow.
And I thought, this is going to be easy. I got this. I went in. And that was literally my first TV audition. I went in, and it was a terrible audition. I had like 2 lines, and he said, "Well, maybe you want to stand up and do it." So I stood up and I gave the lines again, because the character was probably standing up, and somehow I booked it.
Nice.
And I met the guy years later. Ed Sheeran is his name, famous director, and Korean War vet as well.
Wow.
And I said, "Ed, why did you cast me?" And he grabbed my face. And he shook my head like I was a melon, and he just shook it, and he said, "I love that face."
You did that good.
And he turned around and walked away.
How tall are you?
I thought it was going to be easy, and it turned out to be years before anything else.
So how tall are you? You're a pretty big guy, aren't you?
I'm 6'1".
So a guy runs and grabs a 6'1". How big was he when he grabbed your face?
He's like 5'8".
Okay.
Hey, Jeremy! I love that face! Something like that? That's neat.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
We have about 3 minutes.
I have so many more questions. We're going to have to have you go ahead. We'll talk about your association. But you want to promote anything? Tell us what's next.
Are we going to, I don't know. I'd really like to see some more House of Cards and
right on. That's May, isn't it?
Well, from what I know, it's streaming in May.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to watch it with everybody else.
You're going to binge watch the entire series in like 3 days?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll watch it, I'll watch it.
You wake up drooling and take a shower. Well, that's what I do.
No, there's no showers when you're binge watching.
I hate when they do. They put them all on at once. Why don't they space them out a little bit? Because you can't just stop.
Why isn't there a way to watch it while you're showering?
There you go.
You can. I have a waterproof phone. I could bring that in the shower. And you just gave me a great idea.
You're learning lots of things today.
But I want to thank you so much for taking some time out of your crazy busy schedule.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. Watch out for the alligators.
Yeah, right? And you'll come back, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Come back.
After April 15th, when my teams get their videos in,
All right.
Be great. You can look at them and see what you think.
We'll post them on our
Awesome.
site too for
Yes.
H.E.L.P. So check
That's
it out.
nice, man. Thank
you again for
Make
being
sure
so gracious.
you follow Mr. Give us your Twitter handle again. Make sure we build up those followers for you.
At Holm Jeremy.
There it is. And also your website, jeremyholm.com.
And I'm on Facebook.
And
It's just
Facebook.
at the actor Jeremy Holm.
We'll put all our stuff out there too to link that to you. Again, thanks again. It was great to talk to you
Yeah.
and hope to
So
see you
good
again
to
real
see
soon.
you.
Thanks. Have a great day, everybody.
You too. Take care. This is Radio Takeover. We're out. We'll see y'all next Wednesday at 1 p.m. For Karen Wooden, I'm Chuck Fresh.
This has been Radio Takeover, Brevard's hit talk radio show with Karen Wooden and Chuck Fresh, heard every Wednesday at 1 p.m. right here on 1510 WMEL, and streaming all over the world 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on iTunes, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Join us next Wednesday at 1 for Radio Takeover. For sponsorship rates and availability, please log on to brevardradio.com.